Hey everyone, how you doing? Welcome to another xoxo video. I hope you're all well. This is a requested video, so thank you so much for the requests. And as the title suggests, we're going to be talking about whatever happened to one of the biggest R&B girl groups to come out of the UK, Eternal. But before we get into the video, as usual, a very quick disclaimer. This video was purely done for entertainment, informational and commentary purposes. It's not to mock anyone, it's not to disrespect anyone. It's purely various information I found on the interwebs put together into one easy to digest video. So as always, we're going to keep it cute, we're going to keep it polite, we're going to keep it respectful, and let's get into the video. Eternal were a British R&B girl group formed in 1992 by music manager Dennis Ingoldsby of First Avenue Records. According to Wikipedia, this was after English music journalist, producer and music business personality Eddie Gordon showed him how the success of American R&B girl group En Vogue was built in the UK. Also according to Wikipedia, sisters Vanette Verney Bennett and younger sister Esther Bennett were scouted in a nightclub in London and became the first members of the group. The Bennett sisters came from a strict gospel background.
Because I know you both had sort of gospel backgrounds, didn't you? Yeah. What was that, because of your father, whose
my mum's a pastor, yeah.
And presumably you'd been surrounded by gospel from day one, growing up.
Had to. Nothing else was allowed in the house.
Really?
Yeah.
Esther Verney also performed backing vocals on British singer Dina Carroll's multi-million selling debut album So Close. Louise Nerding joined record label EMI and was recruited into the band with the Bennett sisters, according to an article in the Mirror newspaper in July 2021. According to Wikipedia, the trio began working together and recording until Louise introduced her longtime friend and classmate, Kelle Bryan, to their management and subsequently became the fourth member of the group. But before Kelle joined the group, there was another member who has remained unnamed. Speaking with the LA Times in April 1994, Louise said, "Before Kelle there was another singer, but we didn't click with her and she didn't click with us. But we got Kelle and she fit in." Kelle Bryan was already pursuing an acting career at the time. She made an appearance on British police TV drama The Bill and made a guest appearance on the British soap EastEnders, playing the role of Debbie in 1992.
And actually what people didn't know is that I was an actor before I was a singer. So I was in things like The Bill and EastEnders before I even got into the band.
Kelle also won a Junior Miss World contest when she was just 2 years old.
So, I basically was doing a Junior Miss World contest at age 2. Don't know what I was good at, but I won anyway.
According to the blog site Music of the Rare, Obscure and Unknown, it is stated that Kelle joined the Italia Conti Academy stage school at the age of 11, and on her first day of school she met Louise and became close friends. Then, in 1992, when Kelle and Louise were out clubbing one night, they met Dennis Ingoldsby and eventually became part of the group. This was confirmed in the BBC Two special I Love the 1990s.
Lou and we went to a nightclub, which my mum wasn't too pleased about that I was going to because we was 15 at the time. Guy comes over to Lou and he goes, "Can you sing?" I was like, "Yeah."
Nevertheless, the group consisted of Verney, Esther, Louise and Kelle. The ladies were eventually signed to EMI Records after spending a year together getting to know each other.
You guys spent a year getting to know one another, right? Now, what would have happened, do you think, if you hadn't have gotten on?
We wouldn't be here today.
And you'd have missed all this fun?
No, that was part of the year to getting together. We wanted to find out. We knew it was going to be hard. We knew it was going to be under pressure. And if we couldn't talk to one another, then...
However, on the ITV daytime talk show Loose Women, Kelle revealed that it was a battle for the group to get signed.
Absolutely, because when we started, for example, even to get signed was a real battle, because again they were looking at record sales versus whether they thought we could actually sell those records.
In an April 1995 article on crossrhythms.co.uk, it was noted that according to Touch magazine, the group were going to call themselves L, but the magazine of the same name didn't approve, allegedly. In a radio interview in 1997, the ladies explained how the group's name, Eternal, came about.
Where did you get the name Eternal?
A producer called Ian Levine, who used to produce for Take That, actually, he sent in the name Eternal, and we thought it was, at first we were like, Eternal, okay, Eternal, but it grew on us because we thought it would relate to our music. Then in September 1993, Eternal released their debut single, Stay, which was originally sang by American R&B singer Glenn Jones 3 years prior in 1990. The single became an instant hit,
peaking at number 4 on the UK singles chart, spending a total of 9 weeks on the chart. The single also entered the charts internationally, peaking at number 3 in Australia, where the single was eventually certified gold, peaking at number 11 in New Zealand, number 17 in France, number 30 in the Netherlands, and number 79 in Germany. In November 1993, Eternal released their debut album Always and Forever, which peaked at number 2 on the UK albums chart, spending a total of an astronomical 80 weeks on the chart. The Always and Forever album sold over 1 million copies in the UK alone. The album also entered the charts internationally, peaking at number 5 on the Billboard Heatseekers albums chart, number 12 in the Netherlands, number 35 in Belgium, number 46 in New Zealand, number 48 in Australia, number 59 on the Billboard R&B albums chart, number 85 in Germany, and number 152 on the Billboard 200. In the same year, Eternal won the Best New Act award and performed at the Smash Hits Poll Winners Party.
The best new act.
At the start of 1994, Eternal released their second single, Save Our Love.
Save our love, save our love, save our love.
Which peaked at number 8 on the UK singles chart, spending a total of 7 weeks on the chart. The single also peaked at number 20 in Ireland, number 34 in New Zealand, and number 86 in Germany. In March 1994, Eternal's first single, Stay, was released in the US and peaked at number 19 on the Billboard Hot 100, number 12 on the Billboard Hot Dance Music Club Play chart, number 13 on the Billboard Hot R&B Singles chart, number 11 on the Billboard Top 40 Mainstream, and number 33 on the Billboard Hot Dance Music Mazzy Single Sales chart. Then in April 1994, the group released their third single, Just a Step from Heaven.
'Cause it's just a step from heaven.
Which peaked at number 8 on the UK singles chart, spending a total of 11 weeks on the chart. The single also peaked at number 26 in Ireland and number 29 in New Zealand. In August 1994, the group released another single, So Good, which peaked at number 13 on the UK singles chart, spending a total of 8 weeks on the chart. The single also peaked at number 49 in New Zealand. In October that year, Eternal visited South Africa and performed at Johannesburg's biggest ever outdoor concert in a lineup that also featured Midnight Oil and Sting.
Well, one of the biggest crowds, which was over like 100,000 people, which was basically, we were in South Africa, and when apartheid was abolished, we were the band that were performing, and just to kind of look right, amazing.
Wow.
And we're sort of looking out over crowds of thousands and thousands of people, and the banners normally would say, you know, Kelly, I love you, or, you know, Eternal, whatever, and the banners were like, free at last, you know, and it was just such a significant moment, you know, moments like that I'll never forget.
Then in November that year, Eternal released another single, Oh Baby I.
Oh baby, I need you so.
Which peaked at number 4 on the UK singles chart, spending a total of 15 weeks on the chart. The single also peaked at number 11 in Ireland. Internationally, the single peaked at number 9 in the Netherlands, number 11 in New Zealand, and number 31 in Belgium. In December 1994, the group released their last single of the year, Crazy. This was the only single where all members of the group sang lead vocals, according to the blog site Music of the Rare, Obscure and Unknown.
Not crazy, so crazy when it comes to you.
The single peaked at number 15 on the UK singles chart, spending a total of 8 weeks on the chart. The single also peaked at number 23 in Ireland and number 25 in New Zealand. The group also released a single from the album Sweet Funky Thing. This single was only released in the US and peaked at number 54 on the Billboard Hot R&B Singles chart, spending a total of 13 weeks on the chart. It seems as though Eternal never managed to crack the US market, despite a top 20 hits with Stay and entering the Billboard Hot R&B Singles chart. According to an April 1994 article in the LA Times, it was noted that the racial aspect of the group, i.e. the fact that the group were an interracial group, had much more focus in the US, partly because of the way the radio was segmented. Kelle said, "In England, all stations play a variety of music. The style of the music or the colour of the artist doesn't matter. But in the US, radio is much more in categories. When you're starting out like we are, if you're black, you're played on black stations, for the most part. Your colour is part of the way you're categorised." It was also noted that the interracial factor of the group could have been a drawback in American radio. Eternal's soul music normally would be funneled to black stations, but the presence of a white member may have made some program directors shy away from the group, figuring their listeners wouldn't like it. Over here in the UK, the Always and Forever album was certified 4 times platinum by the BPI in 1994. making it one of 1994's biggest selling albums and the year's biggest selling debut album according to Wikipedia. Also in 1994, Eternal were named Best Group at the Smash Hits Polls Winners Party, where they also performed. In the same year, the group were also nominated for 4 Brit Awards. The group then embarked on their 4-3-2-1 tour. However, despite the success the group accumulated in a short space of time, the ladies were told that a majority black group could not grace the front cover of a magazine, as black people don't sell. Kelle mentioned this on the daytime talk show Loose Women.
We'd have so many difficulties with like magazines and things like that, publications saying, oh, we can't because you're a majority black band, so therefore you can't go on the front cover of the magazine.
Were they explicit about that?
Oh, absolutely explicit. No, there are emails and documentation to support that, where they would, say the reason that we can't have you on the front cover is because of this or that. And we would challenge that and say, but why not? And they would say, well, because black people don't sell magazines.
In January 1995, the group single Oh Baby I was certified silver by the BPI, with sales of over 200,000 in the UK. However, this was the year that Louise decided to leave the group and went on to pursue a solo career. This was before the recording of Eternal's second album. Esther confirmed this in an interview with VIP in 1997.
But she likes the same stuff. She likes the direct. She was happy with the direction we're going in. But I think she just wanted to move on to a solo career. I think everyone in life likes to try something different, or move completely in a different way. So solo was it.
At the time, Louise said that she was quote-unquote miserable and homesick, which was why she left the group. In the BBC Two special, I Love the 1990s, Louise explained that she just woke up one day and felt that she had to go. She also said that there were different people with different ideas and it was hard to understand one another.
Then one day, I don't know where it came from, I just had to go. We just were different people and we just had different ideas on the way our lives were. It was really hard to understand one another.
In an interview in 2014, Vernie said that the group were gutted when Louise announced her departure, and it was suggested that Kelle also leave to form a duo with Louise. However, Kelle stated that she did not wish to do so, according to Wikipedia. This was addressed in an interview on Good Morning with Anne and Nick back in 1996.
Were you remotely tempted to sort of leave with her and become a duo or anything?
I think as a friendship basis, yeah, because you want to go where your friends are and where you're comfortable. But at the end of the day, I've got 2 friends in Eternal too, so and she's happy, and that's a decision that she made, and I had to respect that.
In the same interview, it was mentioned that following Louise's departure, people got the impression that the quote-unquote white girl was kicked out of the group.
Some people got the wrong impression at one point. They thought that the white girl's being kicked out of the group.
I hate hearing that. It was horrible. It was really horrible. At the end of the day, we're friends, and it was really hard for us to be separated. So then when people came along and tried to make it even worse than it was difficult for us. People don't realise there's actual friendship involved as well.
The ladies have stated in interviews that the split was amicable, but it was a big loss nonetheless. However, the group's music manager, Dennis Inglesby, stated that the reason for Louise's departure was due to personality clashes. Also, there were rumours floating around at the time that claimed Louise was asked to leave by the other members of the group so they could achieve better success in the US, but these allegations have been denied by all 4 members, according to an article on femalefirst.co.uk in January 2009. There are also reports which state that there was speculation that Eternal's management had wanted Louise to leave the group to improve Eternal's chances of achieving success in the US, but this was also denied. Nonetheless, this meant that Eternal were now a trio which consisted of Vernie, Esther and Kelle. Then, in October 1995, the group released their first single as a trio, Power of a Woman, which peaked at number 5 on the UK singles chart, spending a total of 8 weeks on the chart. The single did much better on the UK R&B charts, peaking at number 1. The single also peaked at number 5 in Ireland and number 14 in Scotland. Power of a Woman also entered the charts internationally, peaking at number 8 in Australia, number 33 in New Zealand and number 37 in the Netherlands. In the same month, the group released their second album, Power of a Woman, which peaked at number 6 on the UK albums chart, spending a total of an incredible 38 weeks on the chart. The album also entered the charts internationally, peaking at number 14 in Australia and number 44 in the Netherlands. The album was later certified double platinum by the BPI. At the end of 1995, the group released their second single from the album, I Am Blessed, which peaked at number 7 on the UK singles chart, spending a total of 12 weeks on the chart. The single also peaked at number 12 in Ireland and number 15 in Scotland. Internationally, the single peaked at number 14 in Australia, number 26 in the Netherlands, and number 31 in New Zealand. In the same year, the group did an array of performances and TV appearances, including Children in Need, Live in the Netherlands, performing the single I Am Blessed for Pope John Paul II at the Vatican, On Top of the Pops, and on the children's TV show Live and Kicking. According to an April 1995 article on crossrhythms.co.uk, Vernie and Esther's parents weren't too pleased with their career choice, i.e. being in the music industry. Vernie said, "What every parent fears is that sex, drugs and rock and roll lifestyle. That's what they see as the big sins. But they've got to remember that it's an individual, and if that individual wants to indulge in those things, they will, no matter what you say. For us as individuals, we're not into those things, and it took our parents a year to come round to say, look, these are our daughters, and that's not what they're into, and they are doing good." Kelle also had a similar issue with her family due to their Christian background. She said, "My grandparents weren't really keen on it. Look, Kelle, you shouldn't be doing this. It's not good. It's not godly. You shouldn't be singing secular music." But in the end, they came round to seeing what good it does. In January 1996, the group appeared and performed on the German talk show Harald Schmidt. Then in February 1996, the group released the single Good Thing, making this the group's third single. And according to a few sources, this was a remix version of the track, which peaked at number 8 on the UK singles chart, spending a total of 8 weeks on the chart. This became the group's 7th non-consecutive top 10 single on the UK charts. Eterna released another single from the album, Who Are You? However, this single was only released in Japan and peaked at number 1 on the Japanese Oricon singles chart. It has been alleged that the single It Will Never End was planned to be the group's 5th single. However, this was cancelled due to the group contributing and releasing the song Someday, which was originally sung by American R&B group All For One for the soundtrack to the 1996 Disney movie The Hunchback of Notre Dame. The single peaked at number 4 on the UK singles chart, spending a total of 12 weeks on the chart, becoming the group's 8th top 10 hit on the chart. The single also entered the charts internationally, peaking at number 27 in Australia and number 92 in Germany. Eterna were the first British girls to do a soundtrack for Disney.
Especially for us, because we're the first British girls to actually do a song for Disney, so that's like good on the Brits for us. Really nice.
In the same interview, Kelle revealed that Eternal did the song in 2 days, as they didn't have much time.
Yeah, I think with a song of that stature, you'd want to work really hard and take your time, but unfortunately we didn't have very long, so it was like 2-day job.
Then, at the end of 1996, the group released what will be their final single from the album, Secrets, which peaked at number 9 on the UK singles chart, spending a total of 11 weeks on the chart. In February 1997, the group released what will be the lead single from their upcoming album, Don't You Love Me, which peaked at number 3 on the UK singles chart, spending a total of 7 weeks on the chart. The single also entered the charts internationally, peaking at number 19 in the Netherlands, number 25 in Australia, number 31 in New Zealand, and number 44 in Belgium. Then, in March 1997, the group released their third studio album, Before the Rain, which peaked at number 3 on the UK albums chart, spending a total of a staggering 36 weeks on the chart. The album also did well internationally, peaking at number 1 in the Netherlands, number 10 in Australia, number 16 in Belgium, number 20 in Norway, number 21 in Switzerland, number 33 in Sweden, number 42 in New Zealand, and number 50 in Germany. The Before the Rain album was certified platinum, selling over 300,000 copies, and was certified gold in Japan and the Netherlands. In May 1997, Eternal released what will be their biggest hit to date, I Wanna Be the Only One, which featured American gospel singer-songwriter B.B. Winans, which peaked at number 1 on the UK singles chart, spending a total of 1 week at the number 1 spot. The single, however, spent a total of 15 weeks on the chart. Internationally, the single peaked at number 2 in Norway, number 4 in New Zealand and the Netherlands, number 6 in Austria, France and Sweden, number 7 in Switzerland and Belgium, number 10 in Australia, and number 14 in Germany. According to Wikipedia, the single became the second most played song on UK radio in 1997. However, according to the blog site Music of the Rare, Obscure and Unknown, the single was the third most played song on UK radio and the most played song on European radio by a UK act in 1997. That same year, the group not only performed at the 1997 MOBO Awards, but they also won the award for Best Song.
And the winner is Eternal.
The group also won the Capital FM Award for Best Single. Also in the same year, Eternal performed the single at the Smash Hits Polls Winners Party. In an interview on the Ozone, Kelle explained how the collaboration came about. She said that BB Winans called the ladies up and said that he had written a song with Eternal in mind, and said that he would send it over to see if the ladies liked it, and possibly to do a duet. Then in September 1997, the group released what would be an exclusive track from their upcoming compilation album, Angel of Mine. Which peaked at number 4 on the UK singles chart, spending a total of 13 weeks on the chart. The single entered the charts internationally, peaking at number 3 in Norway, number 10 in Sweden, number 17 in New Zealand and the Netherlands, number 27 in Belgium, number 41 in France, number 44 in Switzerland, and number 85 in Germany. American R&B singer Monica released a cover version of the song a year later, which topped the Billboard Hot 100 and peaked at number 2 on the Billboard Hot R&B chart. During a promotional run of the Angel of Mine single, Eternal appeared on the British TV magazine show This Morning. Here, it was revealed that the Bennett sisters recorded the track in LA, but Kelle remained in the UK and recorded her vocals as she was homesick.
Two of you went to America to record this track. Who didn't?
Kelle.
You did? Why not?
Our homesick girlie.
Well, as everybody knows, I'm really, really homesick, so I stayed home and I managed to record mine over what's called a tide line, so I could be anywhere in the world and record my vocal, and those guys were in LA.
Did an Aretha Franklin.
Right.
Stay home and record.
In the same interview, Kelle was asked why she was so homesick, and she responded it was because of her family.
But why do you get so homesick? What's the matter? Is it what's here that tugs you so hard?
My family, and of course my boyfriend and my family. Tugs me a lot, so yeah.
In October 1997, the group released their greatest hits compilation album, which peaked at number 2 on the UK albums chart, spending a total of a staggering 31 weeks on the chart. Internationally, the album peaked at number 9 in the Netherlands, number 31 in Belgium, and number 42 in Sweden. Eternal's greatest hits album became the highest selling greatest hits album of the year and was also certified 3 times platinum by the BPI for selling over 900,000 copies. Around the time of releasing the greatest hits album, there was speculation that the group were going to split.
Now you're just about to release the greatest hits of Eternal. Does this mean you're going to split up? No, not at all.
Also in 1997, Eternal embarked on their Before the Rain tour. In an interview on the Ozone, during their tour in Japan, the ladies were asked whether it was true that their show in Kuala Lumpur was cancelled for being too raunchy. Kelle explained what happened.
Well, it's not too raunchy, it just depends on what your country's policy is, and over there like you can't even wear a V-neck t-shirt or chew chewing gum, so it's like quite extreme.
In the summer of 1998, Eternal performed at Party in the Park.
Now you deserve a mention. I love you too.
However, a week after their performance at Party in the Park, Kelle was controversially dismissed by sisters Esther and Vernie Bennett via fax from their solicitor, citing a breakdown in professional relations. Kelle herself confirmed this in the BBC Two TV special I Love the 1990s, which aired in 2001. She said that she did not know where the separation between her and the girls began. She went on to say that she just got a fax at home, saying that she was no longer a part of the band. Also on the TV special, British singer, actress and author Michelle Gale mentioned Eternal's chemistry. She said that to her, it appeared that due to the way the group were put together, the Bennett sisters felt as though they were the group and tried to make Kelle and Louise feel as though they were lucky. This was further confirmed when it was questioned why weren't sisters Esther and Vernie a duo in the first place, since it was obvious that they didn't want the other two ladies anyway.
Why didn't Esther and Vernie just do it by themselves in the first place? Because they clearly didn't want the other two there.
However, Vernie has cast a doubt on Kelly's version of events. It was reported in the Mirror newspaper in July 2021 that Vernie said, "I know when I read the headline Kelly sacked, that threw me." She added, If you knew the history, what was going on behind the scenes, and her wanting to leave, for me, it wasn't a sacking. According to the blog site Music of the Rare, Obscure and Unknown, in 1999, TJ Arlett joined the group for a brief period of time. However, TJ ended up leaving after a few days. Later that year, in October 1999, Eternal, who were now a duo consisting of the Bennett sisters, released what would be their first single from their upcoming album, What You Gonna Do. Which peaked at number 16 on the UK singles chart, spending a total of 4 weeks on the chart. The single also entered the charts internationally, peaking number 35 in Sweden, number 15 in the Netherlands, and number 84 in Germany. Eternal also did a promotional run of the single in the UK and in Europe. Then, in November 1999, Eternal released their self-titled album, which peaked at number 87 on the UK albums chart, spending a total of 1 week on the chart. At their Eternal album launch party that same year, Esther and Vernie mentioned that this was more of a personal album. Vernie co-produced the album and the sisters had a lot more input than they had previously. It has been noted that in 1999, Kelle told the Daily Record newspaper that when Louise left, she was frozen out by the Bennett sisters and was fired by the sisters' solicitor by fax. However, in an interview that same year, Esther said that both she and Vernie were hurt by what Kelle had said in interviews.
And we're definitely hurt by the things Kelle says, but I mean, we look at it this way. She's a very talented person. She's, you know, she can sing, she can dance, she's very pretty, and we just feel it's just sad that she has to promote herself in that way.
A follow-up single titled I Cry Real Tears was expected to be released in April 2000. However, this was scrapped due to poor sales of the Eternal album, and the duo were later dropped from their record label, EMI. However, one of the tracks from the album, Free to Live, was released under the name Libre para Vivir. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong, which was moderately successful in some European countries. The last televised performance by Eternal was on Songs of Praise, where they performed the track He Is. After this, the group disbanded and the ladies moved on to pursue different projects. In the year 2000, although a few sources say 2002, Esther's marriage to Irish boy band Boyzone member Shane Lynch came to an end. However, a few years later, Shane will air out their dirty laundry, stating that his marriage to Esther was quote-unquote mental torture and led to him being an extremely angry man, according to an article in the Mirror newspaper in July 2021. Esther later teamed up with the reggae band Aswad to record a cover to Diana King's Shy Guy, which was released as a single in August 2002. And peaked at number 62 on the UK singles chart, spending a total of 2 weeks on the chart. That same year, Esther provided backing vocals on Girls Aloud's cover of Stay Another Day, which was the B-side to their Christmas #1 hit, Sound of the Underground. Esther also recorded a solo cover of the classic song, The First Time I Ever Saw Your Face, which appeared on many love-themed compilations around 2002 and 2003, including the all-time classic Tearjerkers, according to Wikipedia. Eventually, Esther decided to turn to songwriting and began writing for various artists, including British pop girl group Girls Aloud. Vernie stepped out of the limelight. She went back to finish studying law and train as a barrister, and in 2006 she gave birth to her first child. In an interview, it was revealed that after her time in the group, Kelle briefly worked in telesales, but admitted that she wasn't really good at it, so left after a couple of weeks. Then, in October 1999, Kelle released her debut solo single, Higher Than Heaven, which peaked at number 14 on the UK singles chart, spending a total of 4 weeks on the chart. During the promotion of her single, Kelle expressed that the difference between being in the band and being solo was that she has a healthy environment, she could make choices, she got to work with people that she wanted to work with and who had her best interest, rather than just being good at their job.
This is my first single, Higher Than Heaven, and I think the girls are going to go on and do their own thing and have another Eternal album themselves, and I wish them the best of luck. The blatant difference between being a solo artist and having the crowd of being in a band is that you get to make choices. You know, I have a healthy environment, I work with the people I want to work with, and I hire the people I want to hire, and I have a good and healthy environment around me, meaning that, you know, my hair and makeup are friends as well as good at their job. I get to choose the record company I want to be with, work with the producers I want to work with, and they all add something to my career. And they're not just people who are good at their jobs, they're people that add something to me personally and that make me feel comfortable in their environment. And that's oh God, just so important. And I didn't realise how important it was until I actually got to do things my way.
Also, in another interview during the promotion of her debut single, Kelle mentioned that there were times where it was really difficult being in the band, and there were times where the relationship was really strained. She also stated that her confidence was knocked during her time in the group.
Times where it was really difficult, and yeah, there were times where, you know, the relationship was really strained. And yeah, my confidence was knocked a great deal. And obviously, you know, if you feel like you're not getting praised or any kind of, you know, support for what you're doing, and then obviously you're going to get down and think, well, you know, I'm crap at this, or, you know, I'm having a really day. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but whatever. Yeah, and so there were really bad days.
It was also mentioned that after being in the group for 8 years, the pressure of working in an oppressive environment became too much for Kelle, to the extent that she would travel separately from the ladies and would record her vocals in a separate studio. Kelle's debut album, Breakfast in Bed, was never released, and her second single, I Wanna Know, was allegedly cancelled. According to Wikipedia, shortly after, Kelle was diagnosed with lupus, which forced her to abandon plans for a solo career.
So I basically just woke up one morning with my hand in a claw and it wouldn't open. So what? Are we talking like, you know, a week off or something? Because I'm in the middle of recording an album. And in the end, he just went, okay, you need to sit down.
However, Kelle did an interview on TVN UK where she revealed that she was bullied whilst in Eternal. She also reiterated the fact situation and how immediately after that her accounts were frozen as they went into litigation. Her parents were going through a divorce and she was in an abusive relationship. Kelle also explained the symptoms she experienced before her lupus diagnosis, which was around this time. Kelle also confirmed this on Loose Women, where she said that the symptoms at the time coincided with a combination of everything that was going on in her life at the time.
And how did it first manifest itself? How did you find out that you had it?
When it kind of coincided.
Yeah.
Coincided with when I was when I left the group.
Sure. So with the group, now I didn't realise until I read the notes today that you actually got sacked, didn't you? You got an email saying that they'd sacked you.
Yeah, I got a fax.
You got a fax.
That's so stressful.
And also your parents had just divorced, so it was at a time when you were really, really low. And do you think that added to, that's how
Absolutely.
You got lupus?
Lupus is stress related and definitely aggravated by stress. So it was a combination of things going on in my life at the time that was, you know, all very stressful. And so I woke up one morning and couldn't bend my finger, and then my finger became sort of a claw shape, and it wouldn't sort of open, and I had some flu-like symptoms. I went to the doctors and they said, oh, you've got post-viral infection, so take some paracetamol sort of 3-4 times a day.
According to Kelle's bio on medicine.net, in the year 2000, after taking kickboxing lessons to help regain her health following her diagnosis, Kelle emerged triumphant from 2 kickboxing fights and was also given the great honour of becoming a celebrity patron of the St. Thomas Lupus Trust. In the same year, Kelle launched Red Hot Entertainment, an artist management and development company. Years later, it was revealed that after Kelle received the diagnosis, which was eventually made public, she said that neither of the Bennett sisters got in touch with her. However, Esther said that she found out about Kelle's diagnosis through the papers and said that it would have been nice to reach out to Kelle, but their relationship was past that, unfortunately.
What left the bitterest taste was the lack of support she received from her former band members.
According to Last.fm, in 2005, Kelle returned to her acting roots and featured in the short film The Virus in 2007. Prior to this, Kelle was a contestant on the celebrity version of the reality TV game show Love Island, where she finished in 2nd place. In an OK Magazine article in June 2022, it was noted that Kelle reflected on her time on Love Island whilst chatting to her fellow Loose Women panellist. She said, "Love Island gave me the confidence to know that I did have a life outside of Eternal. It was the first big thing I'd done since being in the band." As there have been a few requests for me to do a video on Louise, I'll make a separate video, so stay tuned. In 2006, it was announced that Eternal would be reforming for a live reunion alongside other acts including Boyz II Men. Only Esther and Kelle were part of this project, as Vernie was pregnant at the time and Louise was busy with her solo career. However, due to unforeseen circumstances, the reunion tour was cancelled. In late 2013, it was officially confirmed that Eternal would be reforming for the ITV2 TV show The Big Reunion, alongside other groups including 3T, A1, Girl Thing and Damage. However, it was reported that Louise would not be rejoining the group as it wasn't the right time or the right forum for her to get involved, but she did call and wish the ladies all the best.
Actually, she phoned last night. She was like, good luck, I hope it all goes really well. She's really supportive of us doing the show. It wasn't quite the right time for her to be involved and the right forum, but she just wishes us all the best.
Following the announcement of the reunion, Eternal's 1997 Greatest Hits album climbed to #1 on the iTunes hip hop charts in January 2014, and following the airing of the group's episode of The Big Reunion, their Greatest Hits album entered at number 27 on the official iTunes chart. The Big Reunion aired in January 2014, and it eventually became clearer as to what happened behind the scenes.
Getting to where we got to is totally understandable, but when we were in it, we couldn't understand what was going on. We weren't getting on, but that was a constant thing. And then you've got you will agree that you've said many times, well, actually, I don't know if you will agree, because obviously we were being told, you want to leave, you want to leave. That was a constant theme that went through from album 2. You want to leave, you want to leave. And then the Greatest Hits was made. And then we were told you wanted to stay. It was really confusing time for us. But, you know, what's true, what's not true, I don't even know.
So how do we get to sort of recording in different countries? Most of the time it's like, we was like told that maybe you didn't want to travel, Kelle, or we didn't really know what was going on at the time, but our tickets were bought and Vernie and Esther, there you go.
Why didn't you come with us?
I wasn't invited.
But you would have got the same schedule as us, though. You didn't get the schedule that said Esther, Kelle, Vernie.
No, most of the time, in terms of recording, I was never invited.
You were never told.
Especially when you're doing all the LA trips and stuff like that.
You weren't told.
No.
We really needed to pull together as a team. One of the things you did say was, you're only going to stay for the money. And that really went to my core.
It was to be real. It was to try and be truthful and honest and tell you where I was at, which was that, for me, it was a job.
I don't know if you just thought that would really get me, because it really did. At that time, it came what I used to call a clock in, clock out culture, because it didn't feel we were together, there was any unity, there was any team, there was any, we came to work. But I can see where we went wrong, because we just weren't communicating.
Yeah.
But we didn't, at that time, we didn't see anything wrong. We're going, okay, let's go our separate ways. If Kelle wants to leave, we're not recording anymore. This is becoming really difficult.
I think the disappointment was that it was by fax. I was like, oh, just phone me and say, Kels, this is really not working, is it? You know, can we just call it a day?
Sending the fax was not our suggestion. We actually didn't even know. That's a bizarre way of communicating you're no longer in the band or we're going our separate ways. And I know that had a massive impact for you.
I know that we hadn't really spoken very much and that communication wasn't good, but that was a big, I just felt like that's a big thing to say. So I thought, well, they don't like me, they don't want me there anyway, so, okay, fine.
It really wasn't about you asking you to go, and definitely we wouldn't have done it by fax. That was done by the solicitors. There would have been a better way to do that. But what we were trying to do is distance ourselves from management so we could get this album made.
Eternal also performed an array of their hit singles on The Big Reunion. After The Big Reunion ended, however, it was reported in the Mirror newspaper in April 2014 that Louise was snubbed by the ladies of Eternal and was not asked to join The Big Reunion. She said, "It all happened before I knew about it. It pulled on my heartstrings. That time in my life was wonderful and seeing them perform brought back a lot of good memories. There were some fab songs and good times, but they didn't ask me to be a part of the reunion, which was sad. She added, I wouldn't have done it, but it would have been nice to be asked. Eternal went on to perform a number of select gigs, including Cardiff Pride in 2014, before disbanding one last time. After Eternal disbanded, Vernie appeared on the BBC game show Pointless Celebrities with her sister Esther in 2015. According to the Mirror newspaper in July 2021, Vernie did some TV presenting on Songs of Praise, Gala Bingo and at the MTV Music Awards, and in 2014 she opened up about the heartbreaking death of her and Esther's brother Oliver, who was 15 years older than them and had sadly passed away after being diagnosed with terminal lung cancer in 2010. Vernie raised money for cancer research in her brother's honour 5 years later by taking part in the sponsored walk Shine Night Walk. In 2016, Vernie landed her first acting role on stage as Spirit of the Bean in Jack and the Beanstalk, and appeared on the ITV game show All Star Mr. and Mrs. with her husband Brian. It has been claimed that Vernie is now a lawyer. According to her Twitter and Instagram bio, however, it is stated that Vernie is a mother, wife, singer, songwriter and a member of Eternal. Vernie is still quite active on Twitter and Instagram as she posts sporadically and seems to be doing well. After the group split, Esther appeared on the game show Pointless Celebrities with her sister Vernie as mentioned earlier. Then in June 2014, Esther performed a solo session at the Jazz Cafe in London for the first time. However, Esther has mostly kept out of the public eye. According to her Twitter bio, Esther is the lead singer of R&B pop girl group Eternal, songwriter, mother, and now a massive squash lover. Esther was active on Instagram until June 2020 and active on Twitter until May 2022, but hope she is doing well. Prior to the big reunion, Kelle appeared in the BBC sitcom series Me and Mrs. Jones in 2012, where she played the part of Fran. In 2017, Kelle did a TED Talk in Peckham, London, where she touched on her experience in the band, her battle with lupus, and gave her testimony to inspire others. Then in September 2018, Kelle made her debut on the Channel 4 British soap opera Hollyoaks, playing the part of Martine Devereux. And in May 2019, Kelle became and remained a regular panellist on the ITV daytime talk show Loose Women. In October 2020, Kelle was one of the panellists in the first all-black Loose Women panel, which led them to win a Daytime Programme Award at the RTS Programme Awards. However, on the 3rd of June 2022, Kelle announced her exit from Hollyoaks, with her final scenes airing that same day. This was mainly due to the soap being hit with allegations of racism behind the scenes, and Kelly's former co-star, Rachel Adedeji, listed slurs and racial injustices she, quote-unquote, claimed to have seen on set, according to a Mirror newspaper article in June 2022. In an article on yahoo.com in August 2022, it was noted that Kelle claimed the band members of Eternal were sent to health farms to lose weight before filming their music videos. In her column for Closer magazine, Kelle wrote, "At the time of Eternal, it was all about being a size 0. I was 5'4" and a normal, healthy size 12, but I wasn't treated as such. I was the quote-unquote fat one in the band. The pressure led me to have an unhealthy view of myself, and it affected my self-confidence." She added, "They even sent us to health farms before music videos to make sure we lost weight." Kelly's also a mother, wife, and according to her Twitter bio, she's an actress, award-winning CEO for Advocate Agency, which is essentially a talent management agency. She is currently a Loose Women panelist and an active campaigner for Lupus Trust. Kelle is active on Instagram and Twitter. According to a July 2021 article in the Mirror newspaper, it was noted that Kelle had said in an interview on Channel 4's Sunday Brunch in 2020, "Lou and I speak all the time, which is lovely and our relationship is really great. I don't know if we'd get back together again, but I would never say never." She went on to say, "There had been talks of it just before lockdown. We were talking about it and there were conversations about possibly touring and things like that, but you never know. I do have a sneaky suspicion that something might come off at some point." There is a webpage floating about on mycast.io. The webpage is titled Always and Forever, The Eternal Story by Hulu, Freeform and BBC. Apparently, fans can cast their votes as to who makes the cut for the biopic. Some of the contenders include Alexandra Burke to play Esther Bennett, Juan Winans to play BB Winans, Jacob Elordi to play Shane Lynch, Esther Bennett's ex-husband, and Mahershala Ali to play longtime American radio personality Donnie Simpson. Now, I don't know how true this is because I only came across this whilst doing my research, and the date of the webpage is August 2022, but nothing further has been mentioned about this. However, if this biopic does come to fruition, I think it may be one for the record books, considering Eternal story and the potential cast lineup. But let's keep our eyes peeled. Eternal are without a doubt one of the biggest British girl groups. They hit the ground running with their debut single Stay and have had a total of 15 top 20 hits, 12 of them being top 10 hits in the UK alone. The group also gained a fan base around the world, including Germany, the Netherlands, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, and minor success in the US, especially at the beginning of their career. Despite Louise's departure and controversy surrounding her departure, the group continued to go from strength to strength as a trio. However, after Kelly's departure, although Esther and Vernie pressed on as a duo, it seems as if the momentum may have fizzled due to the lack of promotion. Eternal had so much potential to go on longer than they did, but I think the lack of communication between the ladies was the major factor in the demise of Eternal, along with personality clashes and possibly further issues and conflicts behind the scenes, all possibly contributing to the unfortunate demise of Eternal. Nonetheless, we wish all the ladies well, and you never know, maybe one day the ladies may come back together officially. And that brings us to the end of the video. I hope you've all enjoyed. For those of you who made it this far, thank you so much for sticking around. Don't forget to like the video, share the video, subscribe, comment down below, let me know your thoughts. Thank you again for the request, and I'll see you all in my next video. Over and out.